And for a first pick hero, which he usually is, maybe sometimes second, constructing that environment being so important, not really what you want.
compLexity moving to the second pick, and it's going to be a Doom. This does not feel too surprising now, because by now we've seen it over a week or so that he is now in this meta, and certainly going to be the case if you're responding to a first phase pickup of Ember Spirit.
10 seconds remaining.
And it has been a Z-Freak common grab for a couple of these past games. Let me see here. Just not long ago. Oh, I don't have compLexity's thing up. I'm not even going to bother looking. But a good comfort pick nonetheless for compLexity as of recent here. Again, they are on Radiant side. Again, they're not going to have access to the sweet neutral pull camp under the tower. Z-Freak's going to have to find his own way of kind of making an impression in the laning phase. We saw in game 1, he was on that Earth Spirit, and he just took his business up to the top lane, but still kind of missed his mark a couple of times on the rolling boulders, so it was a bit of a slower start. In game 2, he played the Batrider rhyme and went right to the mid lane. They got that first blood. What do you do now on the Doom if you're in that 4 position at the start of the game?
I think he's going to be moving from the off lane into the jungle. He's going to try and get as much farm as possible. Because I think the purpose of this Doom is to make Ember's game horrible. He can do that in 2 ways. He can be Doom, and he can Doom the Ember, and he can follow him around and make sure that he hits him with the flames or takes off the flame guard as much as possible, but just generally follow him around, use that Doom as a threat. And he can also create the environment where he has the mech into the Guardian Greaves and then just generally tanks up and creates an environment where everyone is just a bit too tanky for Ember to easily and reliably kill. And those are the 2 ways that you can make Ember very, very annoying to play. And Doom kind of contributes towards both of them.
Yep.
Like you say, Pit Lord, he contributes towards the second because he's very, very tanky, very, very annoying, but he doesn't really have a way of picking the Ember off or making the Ember scared of him. Doom, he definitely has that. So he can force the Lincolns, he can delay the Ember feeling very confident in fights, and he always has that button which can just kill Ember in late game, because Ember is very, very difficult to kill for the most part.
I wonder what DC will consider then for their option of Saksa here. Do you fall back on a trusty like Dazzle? I mean, that's one of the first things I think of if you're going to be, you want to keep someone alive who's been doomed.
I think Dazzle is a good pick, especially just with the Slardar and to focus people. I think more the minus armor is very, very good for dealing with Doom, because Doom has to itemize for every single bit of his armor for the most part.
Yeah.
I think he's got 1 in a talent somewhere, I'm not really sure, I don't recall. But for the most part, he suffers against minus armor. And Lifestealer and Weaver getting banned out from coL, so they don't really want anything to aid with that Slardar, because Lifestealer, the obvious combo is there, and Weaver kind of gives a strong enough lane that Slardar feels comfortable both pulling and moving around.
Yeah. Well, DC have been trying to target cancel with their few recent bans here. Getting rid of the Shadow Fiend, getting rid of the Invoker. We saw him play that Tinker in game number 1.
Oh, Dazzle, you are gone.
Wow. Big surprise here. The Dazzle does come out from DC. I mean, we already talked about him, so what do you want to talk about now?
Well, the fact that they banned SF and Invoker, both of whom are fairly difficult for him to lane against. 1v1, he does okay versus Invoker, but not great. Alacrity kind of makes it hard to CS, and there's always the threat of Tornado for Flame Guard. SF, you can do okay as Ember, but it is very, very SF favored. Player skill can sometimes make the difference if you CS very well early on as Ember, but usually, if there is a single hero helping the SF, then Ember gets crushed completely. So you usually have to safe lane the Ember in that situation. So banning the SF and the Invoker means the Ember Spirit has a little bit more mobility, like flexibility in the early game. He can go safe lane, he can go middle. I think both Resolution and Weeha are comfortable playing him. I think Weeha plays it more, so having the mid option available makes it a stronger pick for DC in general. So that SF ban makes it comfortable for them.
Unless it's that 4-position misery Ember Spirit. I mean, we've seen the Riki and the Batrider and everything today. I'm just kidding. I'm not even going to try to go down that road.
A 4-position Ember Spirit is going to have a lot of difficulty doing anything once Doom gets like mech, coL gets like any kind of items up, because you're going to get blasted once, your Flame Guard's going to go away, and then you're going to have to flame chains, and without levels in the early game, you're going to have a difficult time doing
It sounds terrible. Like, I mean,
it really does.
I don't
really understand it. Was it Horde that were playing it?
Yeah.
I think Horde played it quite a lot. I think they had some success with it, but they basically transitioned it into their 3 position for the most part in most of the games.
I didn't even know it was actually ran before. That's crazy. I'll have to check those Horde games out. Well, we didn't acknowledge
Axe coming out.
Yeah, Axe came out, and he's the knife in the heart of Dazzle, as we all know, or anyone he wants to save.
It's a very kind of a kill or be killed world with Axe and Dazzle, because the minus armor does present a large problem for Axe. You get weaved, you blink in, sometimes there is just, if you get pointed at and weave for enough time, even if you pop that cool, you are going to disintegrate fairly quickly. But, again, it goes through the grave, so you can just chop people. And chopping people is rather fun. So I can see why you go for the axe.
Yeah.
It means everyone is killable.
Yep. Chopping's fun. Chopping's fun to watch, too. So
it's very satisfying.
DC go back and they get the trusty Luna. A boring hero nonetheless, but one that is a tried and true, certainly for resolution. Grinding away through the farm, being able to shred through buildings, capitalizing on some of that minus armor a bit, offering team fight, which DC could have been lacking a little bit of.
Tinker, I like this. I do like this versus Dazzle Luna because DC now have the lineup where one, Tinker is good in the lane because he's going to definitely be against the Ember Spirit now. They know that. Dazzle and Stardar are going to have a hard time helping him, but also they know that DC at some point they're going to want to push. They have Luna, they have Dazzle. They're probably going to want to pick another hero that facilitates that push as well. And with coL, Tinker, all they have to do now is get some core hero that matches up well against both Luna and Ember, or really strong against one of them, and they will feel confident going into the late game, because there is no draft that feels comfortable going into late game versus Doom, Axe, and Tinker. Because BKB doesn't help you very much.
Yeah.
Like, overarching physical damage doesn't help you. Like, it's hard to split push because of Tinker and coL, and team fights are very, very morphling. So, very good versus the Luna and late game matchups for the most part, excluding Eclipse interaction. But Eclipse isn't usually the thing that you look for in core matchups with Luna, because you can just make the replicate, you can just burst the Dazzle, you can throw out E-Blades on Luna the whole time. And also, Ember has a hard time killing Morphling. There is the chains, which stops the waveform, but other than that, Morphling does have a lot of damage.
I'm curious.
I like this. I really like coL's draft in this game.
Yeah, I mean, I like it a lot too. From what I'm seeing here, I'm curious if it props any sort of change up here or not. DC go for the last pick, Clockwork. I mean, we saw it earlier today in the hands of Misery in the 4th position, and could see Slardar be played by Moon in this one, but you know,
yeah, I think it's. I want to say it's more likely that it's going to be Clockwork having farm in this game, because I think they need to get him online to pressure the Tinker faster than they did in the previous game. They did this even though Clockwork had a fantastic time eventually and Tinker couldn't really do that much. I feel that it's not so riding on like the Tinker pushes with the rest of the team kind of thing. I think coL have a much more well-rounded draft, because even though it sometimes may seem it, like, it's not zero-sum. Like, having a good late game and a good mid game doesn't necessarily mean you sacrifice your early game. So I'm just thinking that coL, I think their lanes are pretty good. Like, their safe lane seems strong. They have Doom that can roam, coL that can blast, and Morphling can always be a kill threat. Tinker matches up very well versus Ember, I think. I've already said several times. And Axe, well, they're going to need to be careful because he can farm jungle very, very quickly. So, I like coL's draft, but then they're going to send the Morphling off into the offlane, and they're going to have Z-Freak playing the Axe as support, and then Doom is going to be their carry. So not exactly what I was expecting, but...
Not at all. That is now going to be a stunning Morphling build-up. Okay,
yeah.
Bit of a funky change here.
I don't like this as much as I like the Morphling carry, but then again, I haven't played with them in their scrims when I doubt they've had success with this kind of thing. So
yeah, I mean...
I'm interested to see how it works.
Well, you were on the noggin with DC's side of things as far as it is going to be Moon on the Clockwork taking more of that farming core position so they can get him online to help deal with the Tinker. And, of course, that will leave Misery on his Slardar pickup. But, yeah, things definitely a bit different here for coL. I mean, you have lots of lockdown now. This Morphling gets to that pace where he has the Adaptive Strike leveled up. He has the mana to kind of back it up. That's a nice thing when you have a coL on your team. Morph will usually build up into something like a Soul Ring, at least early on, so that he has the firepower to kind of dish out Adaptive Strikes in waveforms all day. But at least he has a coL to kind of give him the mana.
I think the whole idea behind it is that they're not so dependent on the success of their own safe lane, which may be questionable seeing as UC have had success in being very, very aggressive on the soft lane. You saw when they picked Beastmaster Dazzle, they were probably worrying about something similar occurring. So putting Morphling in the offlane, meaning that they always have like the ability to have the Doom up, guaranteeing that this Doom gets items, that they actually get their death ball rolling, because I feel that coL's lineup is going to be more death bally than even they intended. It's going to be more important than making sure the Morphling has a good start and is able to be the big strong carry that they need. I think the Doom is more integral to this lineup. And, oh, Monkeys gets dewarded instantly. His sentry doesn't catch the lane ward that DC put up, and his first ward immediately gets dewarded. So, Monkeys is going to have a very, very difficult time up here.
Yeah, we'll have to rely on the waveform to kind of get out of any trouble and just try to hide within the trees for the XP. But, hey, imagine the day comes, though, later on in this match. You got some levels on your Chakra Magic. You got some levels on your Adaptive Strike. You're looking at, what, 4-second cooldown? Adaptive Strike stuns, I believe, with the 6-second reduction. I don't know. In a crazy world, that could be a bit of a game changer.
It's going to be very, very obnoxious. Like, combined with Tinker, it means Tinker doesn't have to go Hex. Tinker can just do Tinker things. He can go, like, Ags into probably more damage. Like, I don't think coL are ever going to have the problem where they don't have enough damage to kill someone, provided the Tinker gets enough farm. And they have a hell of a lot of lockdown, so I think. But it's all about, like, can they get to that point before DC feel comfortable pushing with the Dazzle Luna? And I think that is the risky point, because Luna is going to have a good lane. Dazzle, he's going to be able to pull freely.
Misery's trying to interfere a bit here with Z-Freak, who's trying to farm the jungle nearby. He was trying to go in for the last hit on the creep. The spin comes out from Z-Freak, who will be able to snipe the last hit, but Misery's going to be forced to use both crushes. And now pop a salve, which will get quickly canceled. Monkey is actually almost able to block him within those trees. The chase is on. Now even Cancel getting involved, but eventually they're going to have to pull off. They'll leave Z-Freak to kind of continue zoning him back, because Melons will now step in and help out. He's going to be able to snag up the bounty rune right in front of him, but Moon Meander now looking to get involved. Chases through with the battery assault, but coL is tied for fastest hero in the game, so he's going to be able to run away from that one. New cogs will be dropped, and that just turned into a crazy little country dance for Misery, going from one side of the map to the other.
As the fish walked through the radiant jungle, one word was heard, and that word was space.
Yep. Many spaces were created on this
Indeed.
day.
So, now Saxo's going to walk down to bot. He realizes Luna's doing great. So, I'm going to go and press buttons on Moon. And Moon now, he faces the running at. He's got a lot of creeps still. But
yeah, he gets hit with a crush, then locked inside a cog. If he survives this, that would be pretty damn impressive. But it looks like they might be able to soften him up enough. Swindles, though, able to get the first blood, bringing down Moon Meander as they continue to put into work trying to drop Moo. Will Swindle make it away? Yes, I told you, the old man with boots, so freaking fast. He will outrun you. And avoids the second stun there.
So, not exactly what DC were planning. So, coL will win out for that engagement for the most part, but losing Moo there is always going to be a bit of a bummer. But he's got 2 range creeps coming into his tower, so he's not going to lose much farm here. But I think he did have quite a bit of gold on him as he died, so not going to be too happy about that.
It's funny, the resurgence of Doom back in this meta, and already we've seen him played through like all the positions he used to be played in the past. Came back in as a bit of a 4-position support. We saw earlier in the 3 position, ran in the off lane. Seen MSS yesterday run it in the off lane. Today, Moose taking it to the safe lane, farming it up. I don't know if that was due to like the last second change up and making it work with the Morphling, but just interesting to see ever evolving.
They always planned for this Doom to be quite farmed. I think they want to play with like an unkillable Doom, because they like to have Moo, like you saw in the Centaur game. He just kind of sits there, and he's gonna probably play a similar role as he played in the last game. Just being this big tanky hero that they can't really kill, but this time he's a tanky hero that can. Wait, last time he was a Centaur, he had a good matchup versus the SF.
Yeah. And
now he's a Doom, and he has a good matchup versus the Ember. So it's a pretty similar situation.
But Doom can't turn his back to the tower and then auto take it down, Rhyme. So what does he do in the late game besides just Doom one person and try to right click, or is that good enough? That with, I guess, some utility. Because the other than that, the DPS is coming from what? Tinker? coL?
Yeah, the damage is mostly going to be coming from Tinker. Morphling is probably going to be trying to alleviate some of the damage coming out on the Doom by like striking the really high DPS heroes. Probably mostly going to be the Luna. Actually, like if you look at it, Lord of Hex, like they don't really have much to deal with the replicate that is going to come out, because the majority of the physical damage coming out of coL is probably going to be coming out of Luna. When you think about it. Just the replicate, especially, like, we're probably not going to get to, like, level 25 Morphling in this game, but
yeah.
If we do, plus 50% replicate damage, they're going to need to buy hexes and stuff for that, but
yeah.
Even just, like, the level 6 replicate is going to be enough. Like, maybe when Morphling hits level 12, they can push with Tinker with a Blink Dagger and boost travel. Doom's going to have, like, mech and all that kind of stuff. Or maybe he goes for other items, but the replicate is going to play quite a big role.
Weeha takes a moment to step away from the lane to continue to farm up on his Ember, but we'll have to take the track all the way back to the fountain. Misery will find himself crossing paths with cancel here, but Z-Freak also by his side. Misery finds himself quickly outnumbered and tries to retreat, but Z-Freak has those Tranquils and easily catches up. They'll get him with the call and a laser, and Misery will be punished for being out of position.
Yep, so cancel. You focus a lot on the denies to make sure that Weeha doesn't get 6 before Tinker can really safely leave the area, because that's the point where Tinker is quite at risk, and then he benefits after that by getting that kill, so he kind of recovers in his gold income as well.
Ooh, first doom of the game, bottom lane. Moon dishes it out onto Moon.
Oh, barely misses.
How dare you replace me on DC? Tries to hit him up, but Moon walks away, and we'll be fine.
So Moon just barely gets away there. The coL boss was so very close. It's just Monkeys is not farmed.
He's not going to do anything. Like, he's just not anything until he gets, like, Soul Ring and, like, level 7 or something, right?
So level 7 is probably, level 7 is going to be the point where he is the stun man. And then level 12 where he has the longer duration replicate, 45 seconds, so it's not just lasting a creep wave. And then he can kind of push with that. Z-Freak is going to probably be the...
Ooh, catch that. Very back end. Rush in. Yep.
That's all of the remnants going down and the Stardust stun, so... Council doesn't really have a hope of surviving that.
A kill needed, though, for Wii.
Yeah, they definitely needed
trouble
that, I think,
in lane.
The Ember Spirit to kind of catch back up.
Monkeys is able to waveform down. Z-Freak steps in, goes for the call, gets hit with a nice cancel of a Lucent Beam there from Resolution, allows for the crush. Z-Freak trying to make it away, forced to dish out the call just for the extra armor to survive, but Misery moves in for the crush, but Z-Freak turns it around and dunks it on his head. Soxa will ultimately bring Z-Freak down, but Z-Freak will get a nice little chuckle there, but yep, bottom lane.
So close. There we go.
Rocketed. Swindles does go down. Action from top to bottom in this one.
Yep, so Moo was just going to go. I have not much mana, and now I have to fight the Stardust and the Clockwork. But he's going to be fine. Because he is... Well, he's fairly big. I'm just kind of worried now that Weeha's got that kill now, so Cancel is going to go for this rune. He's not going to get it, but he can't really be killed here because Z-Freak will act as the Guardian. Just kind of worried because DC, they're hitting this top tower and it's going to go down eventually. Sax is level 7 at this point, which is absolutely insane.
That's
He's
crazy.
Had completely free pulls up here.
Level
he
7?
was fighting down bot. Like, Moon's level 6. In fact, Weeha's level 7. Yeah, looking at, he's the 4th highest level in this game in terms of experience points, just accrued. So,
setting up now with an adaptive strike here from Monkeys. There's the Lucent Beam. Moo's running in. He's got a Doom. I think he wants to use it. He's not going to find anybody. Soxa's too damn fast. Oh, but Z-Freak managed to get close enough. Almost gets the call off. Now they turn around with a bit of a poison. Resolution creeping in. He's got an Eclipse. Does he want to fire it? Ooh, he's thinking about it here. Moon Meander, also in the neighborhood, has the hook shot. Looking to go for the shot. Can he line it up? Yes, he can. Moves in, goes for Z-Freak, drops down the cogs. And coL are like, we can't help you. I'm sorry. That's too bad of a position for us. So they pull away.
Yeah, this seems very, very difficult for coL to really fight right now. Without the Axe Blink, without getting like maybe a 2, even 3-man call, the threat of the Eclipse is too much along with the hook. There's just more tools for DC to fight at this point. Because Tinker, well, he is the Raindrop man, but until he has Boots of Travel, Soaring, possibly even Blink, he doesn't really provide much value to these fights. Although Weeha's going to be very, very annoying to Z-Freak, and Z-Freak will be very, very annoying back, but Weeha will not be threatened by this too much.
He pulls off and away. This is going to soon be time, and you can already see it up in queue here for Z-Freak. He's got to buckle down and farm up towards this Blink. They're just going to need it. They do have the benefit of initiation coming out from the Morphling soon enough, though. Waveform Adaptive Strike should be more than enough to kind of set up plays here. And he's about to be level 7.
He's going to evade the gank, or he's going to walk right into
He's summoning someone in here, but they might be summoning into trouble. Moo will get here in time, though, and dishes out the Doom. On for Wii. Wii will make his leave now. Sox is going to hit from the Mana Leak, so he can't get there to help out, but Misery has shown up. Bobs down with the crush, and Resolution has come to play and brings the party with a mighty Eclipse. And now Swindles has summoned Moo into his own death.
Yeah, so I think it would have been okay if he just drops the Doom and then immediately backs off, but it feels really, really bad to just kind of Doom someone and then have to walk off immediately. So he's like, maybe I can get a kill here, and then he just doesn't realize that Luna's just going to TP in and then present him with death.
Z-Freak in trouble, gets scouted out from Misery, who will funnel him down the river towards Wii. They will both flank, and then followed up with yet another kill, this time onto cancel. Monkeys now steps away from the top lane and says, I got you with that adaptive strike. But then they turn the damage onto him, and they don't have any more mana. So he's just going to get slashed down. Was that that was the wild card coming out from compLexity, revealing their awesome stun Morphling. He gets crushed.
Yep, so he's not going to be going for Soaring, he's going to be going for the Hand of Midas as soon as possible. So he feels that he's fallen quite far behind, but like at this point, your lanes consist of Tinker, who's 34 CS at 11 minutes, a Doom who has 2 deaths, 41 CS, going for the drum, and a Morphling who he saw a creep once and he doesn't really remember what it felt like.
He's just going to have like no mana in these fights, unless Melons is just going to have to feed him mana.
Yeah, so early game, it's not gone well.
No.
Z-Freak, he's looking towards Dagger, but again, that's quite delayed. These fights have gone poorly, but they do still have the lineup that it does have a way to win in mid to late game. So it's up to Cancel, can he farm his boots of travel? And it's up to Moo, can he really be strong enough and tanky enough that he doesn't have to worry about just being obliterated just by chains and a starter ulti.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
coL trying to make their own approach to the top lane in hopes of getting a jump and maybe a tier 1, while DC are just finishing up a tier 1 themselves. If they're not careful up here, there could be a counterplay from DC. But doesn't seem like Melons is summoning any. I feel like if they were going to get serious, Melons would probably summon some extra assistance, but for now they're just allowing Z-Freak to take the lane. Trying to get that Blink Dagger. Misery's here now, points at him. Goes in the trees.
Z-Freak is now going to feel a little bit more tentative coming up here. Moon has a hook shot. He does not see the Morphling. The Morphling is going to be the guy who TP's out in this instance.
He just hooked the creeps. Maybe was looking
Resolution gets caught
too
out
far
with
ahead.
Doom.
Oh, Resolution bottom lane. They're making moves
Resolution's just going to die.
He's done. Doomed. And taken out. Meanwhile, Moon gets his own kill, top lane, taking out Swindles. All right, back and forth we go. To mid lane will be our next adventure. Yes. Sox is going to be
directly
jumped.
on Z-Freak, so he's going to get stunned for a long time.
Yes, he
but
will.
He's not going to get stunned long enough for Axe to get the call.
Oh,
so,
almost. We will rev it away, but they have another stun now. He slights, though, locks him in his place, and makes it away. Very nice. That was just in time for the adaptive strike, and he narrowly avoids it with that slight and chain.
Yeah, but that kill on Resolution was really, really big, I think.
Yeah.
All it took was for a Doom and a Morphling stun along with Replicate to make Resolution realize his worst enemy is himself. Not only for standing in that bottom lane for too long, but by getting hit by a Replicate that has 80% of his damage, because that is a thing, apparently. So, the road to Midas, it becomes ever clearer. 300 gold remaining for Monkeys on that, and he's probably going to get this mid farm too. Paxa will challenge him for it, and quite effectively, I do say so. But he's got that coming close. So now it's a wait for the Z-Freak Dagger, cancel Boots of Travel, which are a long way off, but they're getting the tools they need, but not very quickly.
Still Dazzle the highest support level in this game. I just wanted to see
he's
where
just
Sax at now.
profited pretty well.
Level 10, as he's on his way towards this early Solar Crest. Will obviously make Roche melt even faster than they would have already taken him down, with the assistance of Misery, of course. And now coL advancing down this mid lane here. There's still a tier 1 standing that they would like to
I'm just looking at the net worth.
pressure.
The net worth indicates that Dazzle is currently richer than Tinker, Morphling, and Axe. So not the situation that coL were looking for, and Cancel is going to fall to Weeha solo.
Ooh.
That is the first main reveal of that Veil. He kind of ran away from him in their jungle with it, but now you see the Veil coming into play with the Fire Remnants. So
yeah, as everyone
Cancel
saw at home, because I didn't miss it. You guys saw that. I may have missed it, okay? It happened.
Well, that's
but,
fine. I miss everything.
I mean, it's easy to retell the story, all right? Weehawk went in there. He beat some ass.
Weehawk went in there, dropped the remnants, he
Yeah,
caught the
yeah.
Sight of Fist and Searing Chains, press fail, and then remnanted in, and then basically just killed him with Fade Up.
Yep. That's exactly how it went.
I'm sure you can remember watching it in vivid detail.
Yep.
So, resolution now, he's going to grab the wolf, hit the tier 1, and Z-Freak maybe
He gets jumped.
fine.
And will slide himself out through those cogs, but they found a juicier target in Moo. Crush, point at him, do everything they can, and he's just absolutely decimated there. This is going to be an easy follow-up into a tier 1.
For every single one that evades the clutches of DC, another one seems to just walk right into their loving arms. Like you see Z-Freak, he escapes the clockwork gank, and then Moo's just like, take me instead, and immediately gets disintegrated by... I overuse that word, but I just like the word disintegrated.
It's fine.
So, Melons, he's just going to be absorbing the farm mid. He's going to be looking towards a 4-staff, a long way off, but he has ambitions. Saxa might be caught by the morphing stun here, but I don't think there's really much follow-up.
Dazzle sits still for quite a while, and then, finds himself crossing paths with Z-Freak, who's going to dish out the call. There's the blast. And, yeah, that Grave is obviously not going to be working out so well with the axe hanging around. Swindles, gets the bounty, but then he'll find himself dead. So, you take one of ours, we'll take one of yours.
He got the bounty. I was going to say something about costs, but I don't think I will. The resolution now, the path towards the Asha is becoming easier and easier. Monkeys does have his Midas now, and he's about to use it again. He's not going to get level 12, but he's still got the replicate available to make of Luna.
Yeah.
And that's probably going to be their main tool to fight around.
Hook shot in from Moo to get onto Monkeys, but he'll waveform on forward, and then Moo will lock them within the cage while they go to work on cancel from the outskirts. They quickly take him down, and coL, just like that, lose 3. Monkeys within the inside. Still looking to lock onto the next target. They will be able to bring down Moon. DC already pull on back. Ember, of course, eating the Doom will have to wait that one out and heal up for a new fight. But Misery coming in from behind, gets a nice crush as he eats his own stun. The waveform on forward as Monkeys tries to make his escape. Swindle bumps him back with a blinding light, dishes out the blast. The tier 1 is going to get dropped, and DC look to run. Long hit without adaptive strike will lock him. Melons is trying to at least get off a blast or something, but Misery will be fine, and Swindle ends up getting taken down. Z-Freak follows it up, leapfrogging in, getting a good connection with the call. The Grave is there, but he needs to dunk him, and he's not going to get it. He and Stealth will end up going down. Monkeys waveforms forward and also gets taken apart. Ooh, man, that's a bad fight for coL. I mean, how much did they end up losing in that one?
That's a 1,000 gold gain for DC. Like, even though Swindle got a really, really clutch blinding light, he managed to push the Ember away at the split second that he pressed chains, so that they didn't get chained at that point. But even then, it's like, sometimes in life you're a level 9 axe and you realize the Luna has just got too much HP to Culling Blade, so you deliver the right click, and then you see like the 19 damage pop up or whatever it was, and then you realize there's no hope, and you just explode to the right clicks. So now DC will take Roche, they have the Asha, they have a very clear path to taking these tier 2s. Oh, Cancel gets caught. This is not what they wanted or needed.
Moon steps in to help secure the kill, and now coL are looking to kind of get the jump on DC while they're split apart here. A good jump for... Oh, no! He was about midair trying to go for the dunk, and the beam cancels it. Grave will come out to save resolution as he continues to fight with the last little bits of that Aegis. But eventually will go down. Monkeys will also get dropped. Triple kill for Saxa. I mean, he's the real core of this game, right? The guy comes out of the laning phase with the highest level. He's got like some of the most kills right now.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so now it just requires Sala to get 500 more gold, and then he will join the rest of his 4 teammates and becoming richer than the entirety of the compLexity squad. So this game, so far, hasn't been going well for coL. Lanes didn't go well. Mid-game thus far hasn't gone well. They've lost Roche, and Luna now getting closer to the Manta. So this is the point where they can start pushing without really having to worry about very much at all. They'll walk into this area, they'll farm the farm the coL jungle, and then they'll probably group up to take some tier 2s from there. But Morphling is going for a blade now. I don't know why.
I mean,
I don't think it really provides much. Like, he's going to be reflecting mostly physical damage, apart from maybe the Lunar Eclipse. But it's just so much armor on the side of DC. Like, the Dazzle's just going to weave people, and then your Blade Mail doesn't really do that much.
Okay, moving in now. 2 different fronts here. Moon gets the jump for Z-Freak as Misery will help get the bring down of Melons. Both brothers going to get dropped right away and not able to participate in any further trade here. Monkey's just swelling up all of his agility. I'll take 2,300 life and hit like nothing. Bottom lane, cancel. Up in arms with Resolution. Resolution actually eating a lot of damage here. Has to back out and away. But to pick up the pieces is Misery once again. Leaping in, looking to go for Moo. Hits him with the crush. A bash. Cancel will leave. Moo will leave, but he will unfortunately leave in a casket. Also hanging around is going to be Monkeys. Hit with a poison. Tries to waveform out, but they're happy to make chase here. As the mobility is very apparent and very real here from DC.
Unfortunately, Doom gets caught at the tower there, now 400 gold away from his Necro book. Because he's going for a Necro book. I don't understand the item decision, but I'm sure it's good in the situation where they're not 29 and 6 behind.
Alright, Z-Freak tries to go in for a call, but he gets chained down right away from Wii. They will still be able to get the upper hand and blast down Moon Meander. This will force DC to pull off a bit. Melons just rushes in. I don't think he even had a way to cancel that TP if he got there, so.
Yep, so now DC, along with their friend, the most farm dazzle who ever lived, Saxa, he is going to walk down with his team, down the top lane. Lines of battle have yet to be drawn, but no doubt they will be soon. Weehar's probably going to find Z-Freak as Z-Freak kind of waits for the opportunity to catch someone who's going to push out this wave.
Surely I'm safe in these trees. Oh,
he's
been spotted.
So
he
close.
Blinks. He's running. Can he find his way through the trees? The chase is on. Misery's there. Pumps once with the stun. The call will be there from Z-Freak. Stepping in is going to be Monkeys. Able to get the stun for Wii, but eventually they swarm in and Z-Freak will go down. Now going on to the next mark is going to be Weehaw chaining down and locking in Monkeys, who begins to swell up everything he's got inside himself into strength, but it's not enough. Morphling already, as we know, very weak in the armor department. He's trying to make up for that with, of course, the chainmail build into the blade mail and medallion. But, I mean, as you talked about, amp damage, weave, all this stuff just negates and takes away all that.
Haze. Corrosive haze.
Corrosive haze. My bad.
Yes. I feel that we must learn now. Windrunner must be Windranger. That must be Corrosive Haze, or whatever it's called.
Oh. Bye, cancel.
Yeah, he tried his best. He farmed most of the wave, so it's not all bad. And Melons is getting ran at.
He's dead for sure. I think I sorted the net worth. No, I didn't sort the net worth. It's 5 DC on top and 5 complexity on bottom. This game is one-sided for sure.
Yeah, this is one of the most one-sided games I've seen in a very, very long time. I think everything that could go wrong did go wrong. It's Murphy's Law, the game for complexity at this point.
Here's DC looking to go for some closure. With this win, they will secure their spot into the finals. On complexity, have called GG. It is over. It was a tough game, a crazy draft, mind games all around. But it will be DC moving themselves into the finals. Complexity are now going to be slated to face off against MP tomorrow in the lower bracket final.
Yeah, that game is going to be really interesting to watch. coL have an interesting plethora of strategies. They play a lot around having a strong 5-man, especially in Game 2, which you saw, which they won. This game, none of their lanes really went well. Tinker was meant to do much better in the mid lane than he did, but he got by the Ember at some point along with the Slaughter. Misery made very, very effective rotations. Mumianda did well in this lane, and you saw how the top lane went. So, all in all, I like the idea, but in practice, maybe things just didn't work out.
It's okay, though, for coL, as mentioned. Not eliminated yet. They'll have a chance to bounce back in an upcoming series against MP. One that I think is going to be looked at a lot more of a closer matchup than we would have before. The stock of complexity did rise, I'd say, a little bit through this qualifier run.